Trying to disengage from the engagement against the Soviet forces, the Wuppertal has been caught by the Revell and the heavy cruiser Pamiat Azova, as well as V-28 on her escort. The Hessen has made it out, but Wuppertal will have to fight for her life to get back to port and the safety of the German minefields. It is late in the day and emergency repairs at sea have been conducted on the Wuppertal, and as the sun sets, she will set sail once again to meet the Soviet enemy and do what she can to take them out, to make it safely to port. If necessary, the destroyer will have to rush in and hopefully deal some damage, draw some fire, but we will try everything we can to save the Wuppertal, and maybe, just maybe, she can enact some revenge against the Soviets. Wuppertal has been spotted and the enemy is starting to open fire. We've got smoke reported from the northeast, but it looks like the fire actually came more eastwards, so we will see where exactly they are. V-28 is still trying to scout up. No, there's incoming fire against Wuppertal, and we can see that she is still somewhat damaged, but they've done what they could after the battle to patch her up at sea, and we will see if we can find these Soviet forces that appear to be very well hidden in the dusk here. All right, we have spotted the enemy, and that would be the battlecruiser, I think, or was it the heavy cruiser? I can't remember which one exactly we were facing here, but we will try to rush in with the destroyer and get torpedoes away and see what we can do here. This may be somewhat almost suicidal, but she does need to protect Wuppertal, and Wuppertal will try to get her guns on target, and we'll see what we can do against that enemy ship. As far as I remember, they've been pretty much unscathed from the last engagement. So let's see if she's now starting to target the destroyer. I think, no, she's still targeting the Wuppertal, so they might not have spotted the destroyer yet. And yeah, that's the, no, these are the 317mm guns, so this is the battleship actually. These are the big ones. So this destroyer is on intercept course, and we will see if we can rush that ship and drop some torpedoes in her and see if we can get her to disengage. But if they are lucky again with their main guns, then this is gonna end up very badly for V-28. So we will have to start working on a target solution for the torpedoes and rush in there and see if we can do something. At the very least, V-28 can draw some fire, which should allow the Wuppertal to get some of her own shells on target. And hopefully we can intercept that. We can intercept that battleship and get some torpedoes away before V-28 gets taken down. She's the last of the surviving of the escort group, and I think she is. Yeah, she is starting to draw fire, but hopefully she's fast enough that she can avoid being hit here, and we just need to catch them. There comes, which I believe is that should be the heavy cruiser. Yeah, that's an armored cruiser or a protected cruiser. So Wuppertal, Wuppertal has managed to land a hit on the battleship with the 305mm. In which case, I think the battleship is sort of sailing away from the destroyer. I might just start laying smoke here, and we will just give chase and see if we can distract her. Unfortunately, the angle is going to be less than favorable, but maybe Wuppertal can make something happen. And now that the battleship is actually disengaging from the torpedo threat, luck might be more on our side this time around, but we are now obviously in a stern chase, which is less than ideal. But V-28 should be quite a bit faster than that thing, and especially that she has taken a hit in the aft belt that is probably not beneficial for the engines. Has taken a hit in the aft belt from V-28. We just need to be careful with that heavy cruiser out there, which we currently don't have spotted. But we can also use our torpedoes against that thing if we get a better angle. Right now, I just want to try and distract that battleship and see if we can give Wuppertal a fighting chance here. So we'll see how that ends up. Okay, V-28 has taken a hit from one of the battleship main guns, which has hit her main tower, fortunately, and hasn't done as catastrophic of damage as it could have. But I think once I've got the cruiser inside, I might drop the torpedoes against that thing, and then try to disengage with V-28 and see if we can just keep drawing a bit of fire, because one hit from these 300mm guns is going to be the end. Oh, partial pen on the main belt. Okay, target the cruiser, aggressive torpedoes. She has engine damage, so get the torpedoes away, and then she's down to 23 knots. So she's she's an easy target. Have we got the torpedoes away? Yes, we've got the torpedoes away. So while we've still got the smoke up, try to get out of here. But she has taken now engine damage, and I think that means Wuppertal might soon be on her own. Yes. She's getting hammered by large caliber shells. The steering gear's been taken out. She's taken engine damage. I think V-28 is done for. She has gotten her torpedoes away. Don't know if that'll be successful, but that might be the end of the brave little destroyer. Hopefully that bought Wuppertal enough time to land a couple of hits on the enemy battleship and see if we can see if she can take down that threat more successfully than last time. We've got a pretty good solution. Yep, V-28 has been sunk. That with extensive fire from the Revel, but Revel has taken a couple of hits in return, and Wuppertal is now closing in. And this time around, Revel is the one who's giving broadside. So hopefully we can punish that. Effectively, and take her out of the fight. I don't think Wuppertal is going to have a lot of problems dealing with the armored cruiser, but that battleship is a bit of a problem. So let's see how it goes, and if Wuppertal can manage to close the range. That was a good penetrating hit on one of their main guns. So I think she's probably lost one of the main turrets now. Yeah, it's this one, I would say, has probably been taken out. That is a flame. So I think that thing is going to try and get away, which isn't going to be easy because Wuppertal has the speed advantage, and I don't think we've managed to land any torpedo hits on the heavy cruiser. So yeah, he's turned around. So unlikely that we're going to get any torpedo hits in. But Wuppertal has just lost her main tower, but has managed to penetrate the main belt. So we are definitely within effective range at this point. Unfortunately, Wuppertal's precision is now slightly affected by the main tower being taken out of battle. But I hope she can manage to get a couple of good shots in, and especially get some flooding in on the Revel, and then take her down if possible. We only have the forward gun turrets on target right now, whereas the Revel gets more of her guns on target. But that also means that we are in a more defensive stance. Let's slightly. We've got a 90% chance, 90% solution at this point. So let's close in for the kill. Wuppertal can either make it, or she can either take her down, or go down herself. This is the fight. This is the fight for her life that she has to take. The damage is not too bad on Wuppertal, actually. After the battle, they've done a good job repairing Nice. That was a main belt penetration. Unfortunately, not quite as devastating as it could have been, but it looks like the Revel is turning. In which case we are going to match her. And we're not going to go broadside to broadside because she's got the bigger guns, but I think we've taken down one of her turrets. And we probably have the advantage in secondaries. So she has, I think she is slowing down. Yeah, I think she's taken some severe damage at this point. So at point blank range, if we can get the rest of the main guns on target, even though that means we're giving a bit more angle, I think we're still mostly ricocheting. Okay, Wuppertal's taken a bow hit that has caused a flood, but I want to get the rest of the guns on target now, and see if we can finish off the Revel. We can overtake her, and once we get the main guns on target, then I think that'll be enough to finish her off, hopefully. Unless she gets a good shot off, but I think that's a brawl and a half, and I think the Revel might go down here. Hopefully, Wuppertal is risking it, is crossing because she does need to get out of the line from that heavy cruiser as well. And we got the guns on target, full broadside, everything fire. We've seen some huge impacts there on the Revel, and I think she's done for. I think Wuppertal has done it. She's rushed in, she's taken minimal damage, and at point blank range has wiped out that British battleship, that battleship. So the Revel is sinking, which means we could now disengage, but I think at this point the heavy cruiser over here is going to be our next target. I think Wuppertal still has enough fight left in her that she can enact her revenge, and we'll see if she can just take down that heavy cruiser with her. Together with the battleship. That would complete the victory in the North Sea, and that would make up for the relative embarrassment of that first engagement. So let's see how that'll end up. We're gonna close in and see that we get these 305s to work before this thing can burn us down. Because I think, yeah, this is an armored cruiser, so lots of small guns. These things aren't without their danger. But Wuppertal as well can dish out as well as she can take in this point, and I don't think the heavy cruiser is going to be a match for her. So yeah, she's taken a citadel hit. She's already flooding in the center, so that's probably going to be a relatively brief engagement from the Soviet side. Yep, the main guns are pummeling this armored cruiser by now. She's holding up reasonably well actually, but she's now flooding in the stern. It's got a massive hole in the citadel area, I think. Difficult to see with all the smoke, but yeah, there in the middle there's a pretty massive hole, and yeah, she looks like more like a Swiss cheese, honestly, at this point. And Wuppertal is going to finish her off. So the gambit with the destroyer has worked. The Pamiat Azova is sinking due to extensive fire, and Wuppertal has avenged the brave crew that has bought her time to close in, finish off the Revel, and also the Soviet heavy cruiser. And as such, Wuppertal emerges victorious and has restored the honor of her crew after the first engagement. All the ships of the original Scharnhorst class, which has not been fighting particularly well in her first battle, have been commissioned, which means we can now start immediately refitting them. That would be the Kaiserin Augusta, Atlantis, Prinz Adalbert, and Scharnhorst herself. And it's going to take us 3 months, but that will be a design that's going to be much closer to the other heavy cruiser that we've got, and we'll see how that works in the end. So that's ongoing. We do have, I think, we do have a fair amount of ships at this point that need repairing. We've got the unfortunately named Scharnhorst class battleship, Scharnhorst battleship, which is a Kaiser Wilhelm II class, still repairing. We've got the Kaiser Wilhelm II herself repairing. We've got the Wuppertal repairing. We've got the Wettin repairing after the engagement against the Soviet fleet. We've got the Hessen still repairing for 6 months after the severe damage she's taken. And we've got a bunch of refits going. So most of the German fleet is currently inactive, but there is still Soviet fleets about in the Baltics. There's a battle fleet remaining of a bunch of heavy cruisers and light cruisers, and we have spotted a submarine. So I'm going to move our submarines a little closer and see if they have a chance of making an impact, for intercepting the Soviet battle fleet and making an impact there. Otherwise, the fighting continues on the ground. The United States have decided that they wish to ally themselves with us against the common enemy of communism in the East, and we're more than happy to accept. An alliance has been signed between the German Empire and the United States. Also, our researchers have produced blueprints for geared steam turbines. That should give us an interesting opportunity to refit maybe the Derfflinger class of battlecruisers who have been struggling in the last engagements. So, let's see what we can do with the venerable Derfflinger class of battlecruisers. First of all, we're gonna go into refit mode and see if we can switch her to geared turbines and see how much of a difference that makes in terms of weight. So we've got 105% engine efficiency, which isn't great, and we've got 29,600 tons. 300 tons more. It's not massive, but well, it's an advantage. We can switch her to oil-fired, which gives us a couple more tons. What else can we refit here? We can get auxiliary diesels. We've already got that. Hydraulic steering gear. Yeah, I don't really feel the need to mess with that. With Krupp 3 armor is still Krupp non-cemented homogeneous plates is still the best that we can get. Same with the barbettes, but we can get better torpedo protection, maybe if we want to. Although I think I'm kind of happy with that. Reinforced bulkheads, anti-flooding. That's definitely more advanced pumps. And that's definitely something I'd like after the last battle. And we can get the advanced armored citadel, which gives us, costs us some ship flaws potentially, but which gives us the gives her the potential of let's see how that looks. What's the difference in weight? Ooh, that's quite significant. That probably makes up for most of the things already. But we'll see how that goes. The other thing we could do is remove these Mark II 150s, because they are really not as effective as they tend to be. So let's take these down. And these are, I think, all 88s. So now she should be down to... No, we've still got 150s somewhere. Do we have casemate 150s? It's been a while that I haven't touched this. No, I don't think we've got 150s on the ship anymore. Let's have a look. Main guns. Where does it list them? Derflinger class. Nah, don't know. Anyway, what we can do... No, come on. Get away from there. There we go. What we can do is we can go for 105mm Mark III triple turrets, which I think were the ones we were using last time that were actually quite quite effective, especially that they're Mark IIIs. So let's get the Mark III triplets and see what that would look like if we stick that on the Derflingers. So that's one here. Let's put one. Okay, we don't want to impact the centerline gun here too much. So let's see what that looks like. We can place place one forward maybe like this, and then another one here, and then I think the firing arcs not great. What does it look like if I remove that? Slightly better. Okay, so we'll end up with... Maybe we'll move that a little bit forward here. Does that impact the firing arcs? It does. So we can move it up back a little bit like this. How does that look? Well, slightly better. And then we'll just remove those and see if we can still fit one and maybe one in the rear here. I don't think, yeah, we should be able to fit one here because these are in a barbette, so they are not going, yeah, their firing arcs are not affected. And somewhere I have an offset now. Okay, so let's, yeah, better. And let's get that done again and put these in the middle between those two. There we go. And now we no longer have an offset. Okay. Why are these pointing the wrong way? Game. Nope. Okay. Duplicate. Please point them forward if you don't mind. And I think I just wanted them a little bit offset to the rear. Like that. Okay, that is awkward. Yeah, that's a bug. Okay, I'll rotate it myself then. I can't, no problem. We're not having offset, so all I need to do is turn that around. And we should be good positionally. Let's have a quick look. That's aligned. Not 100%. No, it's a little awkward. So let's take this gun and move it there. How's that look? I think that's pretty aligned. Yep, that looks decent. Okay, so replace the 150s. We've got the 305 Mark IIIs in here still. These are as effective as they come. And we've got 88mm casemates. Can we get 88mm triplets somewhere? I think they are going... No, they're not really going to fit anywhere. Okay, never mind. That's fine. So we can use the rest. We can use the rest for improving things around here. Silk cap ballistic. Cordite, we could switch that to tube powder. That reduces the flash fire chance. How's that weight wise? That's heavier actually. What's our flash fire chance? 18.6%, and if we switch that, 4%. At the cost of some weight, but we still have a little bit of weight to play with. TNT, I'm quite happy with TNT, honestly. The other ones are extremely explodey in the wrong kind of way. Can we get a better rangefinder? Not really. Do we need hydrophones? Don't know. Don't think so. I'd rather spend the rest. I'd rather spend the rest of the weight on some armor here. So first of all, these things need to be 105s. And They could do with a bit of armor. Let's give them 100mm side armor. Actually, they can only take 40. Okay, 40 it is. And I am thinking of, first of all, increasing the superstructure armor a little bit. Let's see how far we can push this before it becomes prohibitive. Something like 60mm looks decent. And I do want the... I did have problems with belt penetrations, but let's boost the citadels for now. Can we make that any higher? 190. Yes, we can. 180. Let's see how far we can bring this. Okay, 95mm. And second inner belt can stay as it is. I would like to try and see if we can get the fore and aft belt boosted a little bit. So how does that look if we bring these up a little bit higher? Can we get these up to, I don't know, 200mm maybe? I'm quite happy with the main belt. I don't think we had any penetrations on the main belt, but the fore and aft belt have been suffering quite a bit. And we can maybe get a little bit more deck armor on as well. Just in general, I mean, I think this is going to be the last refit I'm going to do with this ship, the ship class. So let's spend a bit on armor. Let's get that up to 140. How does that look? We've got forward offset. Let's see if we can balance that. Okay, now we've got an aft weight offset. Yeah, I think that's about as balanced as it gets. And we can throw a bit more into the superstructure until we are at limit what the tonnage is concerned. And I think 75mm superstructure armor is as much as it gets. There we go. So this is the 1913 Derflinger refit, and that is probably going to be, it's got greatly improved our engine efficiency. And it's going to take 5 months to refit her, but then she should be competitive probably until the end of the war. So let us save that design. And there we go, refitted Derflinger class. I am just waiting for better torpedoes to do something about the destroyers. We've got the X-30 class design. These were gunboats, however. Once we have better torpedoes, I'm going to get a bit of a torpedo boat going. But for now, I think that gives our dockyard something to do. So once the new battle cruisers of the... which one was it? Was it a Mackensen? I'll have a look in a sec. It's been a while, so I haven't been looking at it in a long time. But once it's actually loaded... Come on, game. Come on, you can do it. There we go. We've got the Mackensen class. So these were the this was the, actually could have just stayed where I was. Once these guys are coming online, and I think we've built 2 of them, then we can get the Derflingers into refit, and these can replace them for now. And they are not quite as well armored, but these are artillery battle cruisers, so they're meant to be fighting at long range. So we'll see how our naval composition is working, and we will also see how the refitted Scharnhorsts, which are now much more focused around the secondaries and have the bigger main guns here, are going to perform. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.